and now we are locally recording, and so we can be starting. Hey everybody, we were going to play Lancer this week, but we decided not to. We'll play Lancer eventually again. It'll happen. For now, we're playing a new game that Jeff found. I think it was you that found it. It's called Nice Marines. Nice Marines is also made by Grant Howitt, the same person who made Honey Heist, a one-shot we've played in the past.
And many other games that are good.
Yeah, and so do you want to do this intro, Jeff, or do you want me to do it?
You can go ahead.
All right, so the intro is, you are a space marine, an immortal giant genetically engineered to be perfect instrument of war, and you and your squad mates are oath-sworn protectors of the astral commonwealth and one another. The Akaina class of galaxy shiver in terror at the very mention of your name. However, support forces have not arrived following the recent liberation of Vannis 4, leaving you in charge of a diplomatic envoy dedicated to rebuilding after the conflict. You are not prepared for this. So how this rolls is we have several different approaches and dice that reflect our confidence and how well we will be able to do any given thing. We get 1d20, 1d12, 1d10, 2d8, meaning 2 separate d8, and 2d6 to our approaches to determine how confident we are, not how competent, how confident we are in our use of that approach. So, the approaches are being nice to civilians, building and repairing things, gathering information, holding parades, impressing civilians, lifting heavy objects, and protecting civilians. Additionally, we have to roll a d10 to determine one thing we just don't understand. We have never been able to understand one element of civilian culture, and it fascinates and perplexes us. So we roll a d10, and then we roll an additional d10 and pick the highest dice whenever we interact with that thing. The things are animals, cuisine, love, fashion, humor, lying, art, grav cars, food, and sadness. It finally goes on to tell us that we automatically succeed at all combat actions because we have thick armor, a machine gun so big nobody can lift it, and a sword that is also a chainsaw. So we have to pick a piece of equipment that we bring with us, and our choices are a flamethrower, an ancient energy pistol, a laser shotgun, an atomic jetpack, a psi-axe, or a grapple cannon. But non-combat actions are difficult and confusing because, well, we're not used to that. So whenever we resolve a situation without resorting to combat, we have to roll dice associated with the relevant approach and consult the chart below. If we roll a 1, it's a terrible failure. If we roll a 2 to a 4, it's mostly a failure, but there is some success. If we roll a 5 or 6, it's just a nice, tidy, clean success. If we roll a 7 to a 10, it's a success with some slight collateral damage. It's fine. If we roll an 11 to a 19, it's success with some dire collateral damage. That'll buff out. And if we roll a 20, it's success with catastrophic collateral damage. So minor collateral damage is stuff like the civilians are upset or injured and some items are destroyed. Dire collateral means, look, people have died, priceless items have been destroyed, and catastrophic collateral is buildings have been destroyed, there have been mass deaths, civil war has been declared.
Etc., etc.
Yeah,
so if you're paying attention to the stats, you might notice it's actually good to not be confident in things. Because the more confident you are, the better your die. You don't necessarily want that.
So, it looks like Alice has already come up with the characters. I will state my character's name is Gaius Septicus Gaius. They're a flamer. They use fire to do flamey things, and now they're here to fix things. They think they would be very, very good at assigning parades, lifting heavy objects, and building and repairing things. They think they'd be all right at gathering information and protecting the civilians, but impressing civilians and being nice to civilians, buddy, I came here to burn things. And also, who needs clothes when you're on fire? I've never seen somebody wear clothes before because they're always on fire. I don't understand fashion at all, and I bring my flamethrower with me everywhere.
All right. Sorry, one more time. What didn't you understand on the list?
I don't understand fashion because why would I?
Okay.
Everybody I've ever encountered has been on fire, and they're not wearing clothes when they're on fire. I just assume that being on fire is the fashionable thing. That's just what people are when they're around me. It's being on fire is trending, okay?
Conflagration is a natural state.
Spontaneous human combustion.
Not spontaneous. We shot at him.
Yeah, it happened spontaneously.
Yeah, thank you.
She did not say without cause, just spontaneous.
Yeah, it was very spontaneous.
That's
All right.
fair.
So, Jeff, you posted your character.
Yes,
Go
talk
over them
about
real quick.
your character.
Yes. My character's name is Harekt Blood Juicer. He likes juicing blood out of things. He does not understand lying whatsoever.
A core
Just-
knight.
Why would anyone lie? Doesn't make any sense. And his favorite thing about war is the sound of carnage helps him sleep. You know, like a white noise machine, except like screams and like bullets getting shot and chainsaws. And he has this trusty grapple cannon. So like a grapple gun, but a cannon. Bigger.
All right. Oh, also, Discord just skipped over the rest, everybody else. So let's see. At the top is Jenner, but she already did hers. All right, Scarlett, you were actually next in line.
Oh, you have to write down
All
what your
right.
favorite thing of the war is. I'll think
I
of
forgot to
something.
do that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
My character is Adolf Hildegard Branson Brunwyn, also known as Ed. She just goes by Ed. And Ed was a very typical space marine until she found some pamphlets from the local techno bishops, and she's gotten really into this new thing called the Church of the Omnissiah. And her favorite thing about war is it's an opportunity to replace more of your body with cybernetics. She does not understand cuisine. Because, number one, why does not the larger civilian simply eat the smaller civilian in order to survive in intense privation? It is simply logical. And number two, I replaced my stomach with photosynthetic organs years ago. Have you not?
Gaius Septimus Gaius's favorite thing about war is meeting new and interesting people, creatures, and then lighting them on fire.
And she carries a Syax everywhere. It's not actually an axe. It's just her thinking about an axe very hard while she hits you with a robot arm.
I have studied it's like that one character from Thud who's thought very hard about
The
axes.
trick is to think about axes.
I'll go next. It is I, Cato Sicarius, greatest swordsman of the Commonwealth of Mankind, most honored of the sons of Ultramar, chosen hero of Macca's prime. His favorite thing about war is gallantry and swords. He does not understand love, because that seems like a really waste of time when you could be hitting things with swords. His relic is, ironically, not a sword, but a pistol. He is very confident in his ability to host parades.
Oh, you are very confident in parades. I see.
Extremely confident.
Yeah.
Parades are the most gallant thing that exists. And I, Cato Sicarius, am the most gallant of men.
Yeah, well, everyone else is confident in that. I am extremely confident in my ability to be nice to civilians. Which I imagine will not go anywhere bad.
We were really looking forward to the parades. That's all. I can change mine, but no, I like the fact that we were all like, no parades. Parades, and if we roll high enough on parades, they're just sparkling riots.
What is this about civilians? I thought they were like plants, right?
Yeah, civilians are a myth.
Very complicated plant life.
Yeah, you can't prove to me the civilians are real.
All right,
Look,
Scarlett,
this-
could I get your character's name real quick?
Yeah.
Kato.
The Space Marine, short for Adolith Hildegard, Branlin Brunson, etc., etc.
Yeah, I got Kato down. But yeah, Scarlett just forgot to write her character's name.
I actually hadn't come up with it until we were getting ready to start because I was trying to come up with it. I came very close to just doing that entire one Rakugo joke about the guy with the incredibly long name.
Obviously, my name is Caiaphas Cain, and I'm the hero of the Imperium. Thank you, ladies. The two people who will get that.
I came very close also to Fabius Mild, who is definitely not a traitor.
My name is Horace. No.
My name's Anubis.
Yeah.
And I've never had a problem with authority or my father ever, not even once.
I've never done a treason.
I love both of those things.
I would never even in my mind think of betraying them. Not at all. Are you ready to get started?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so now here's the thing. I don't know much about Space Marines myself, but it's fine because we don't have to think about the grand scheme of things. We can just say this is dubiously canon to Lancer, and that at some point, ye old Harrison Armour is just like, okay, but what if Space Marines? And then it just sort of took its own thing, and now it's here in space. What's important, though, is that the Space Marines know what their deal is, and they've just liberated the planet of Vanus 4, the planet where it's said that Yggdrasil is on. And indeed, there is a gigantic tree, and that seemed like a good enough thing to go to war over. And technically, your crew has liberated the planet. They're in control, except the problem is the actual envoy that does the cleanup job on the planet after you're done have not made it to the planet yet. So now y'all are just kind of waiting and twiddling your thumbs as you just have to wait a week for these guys to get in. So, let's see. Things are sort of going well. Hey, you don't have to roll with this. Just, in general, how are your characters faring with the other people on the planet? Because you've probably looked at civilians on high, probably had to run into them when trying to find something to eat.
Their lives are highly inefficient. Not regimented. They spend ignoble amounts of time doing this thing called cooking. Why have they not simply graduated to the ultimate sustenance, freeze-dried ration packs? I am afraid of these people.
I had been forced to confront a terrible, terrible truth, or at least a possibility. There might exist people in the universe who not only don't know who I am, but also, potentially, might have, their own lives, which do not require acknowledging how glorious I am. This is much more upsetting than thinking that civilians are a kind of plant.
The good news is, after the skirmishes on this planet, at the very least, people know of your swordsmanship and maybe your name if they actually heard it while cowering. They're not too interested in actually listening to your grand tales, though. They mostly just look for opportunities to run and get out of there.
It is deeply upsetting!
Look, Gaius is just twitching and fidgeting and twitching a lot because he hasn't lit anything on fire in like a couple hours, and he needs to burn something real soon, real fast.
Very strong, brothers.
All right, and lastly, hey, Blood Juicer, what you been doing?
Blood Juice has been muted.
Hello, I've been muted. Hurok's just vibing. He just has a loop of like combat noise that he just plays constantly, like in his like speakers in his.
How loud is that? Can people outside of your?
I think it's like muffled and like vaguely hearable if like nothing else is going on, but it's like it's there enough to be like mildly obvious. It's like screams and like gunshots and like explosions.
So everywhere you go, the specter of war quietly follows you.
Exactly.
Just the distant sounds of slaughter. That's very unsettling.
It calms him down. It's just like recordings he's made on the battlefield that he just plays later. Like people yelling, like incoherently while war happens.
Well, the good news for most of you is you have caught wind of something that may turn the people's interest and respect for you to your favor, and that is just before the diplomacy envoy arrives, there's going to be a grand parade.
Yes!
Or at least that's what you've been planning. However, you first have to wait the 6 days, because you can't hold a parade early. You're all confident enough in parades to know that, hey, you have to hold it at a specific time. Parades move. Timing is everything. So, I won't bore you with the details. All of you know what's up with that. But first, it is the first day since you have gotten a specific time frame from the envoy. And so, you do start hearing, Wind, that people are trying to approach Yggdrasil. And that is very specifically not something they're supposed to be doing. You see, there were some high powers who did not take place in the war. Of course, they weren't fighters. So, since they haven't been defeated by a military, they're still going. Of course, the first to approach Yggdrasil is the Church of God's Grand Nectar, who believe that the most delicious nectar, the nectar of God himself, must flow through Yggdrasil. But nobody on the planet is taking advantage of that sweet, sweet nectar. Unfortunately, though, they've also been approached by the very powerful group known as the Space Governors. They are a band of devastatingly posh house psychic nobles who, well, they are psychic, so I guess they could have taken part in the war, but also, you can't just shoot a psychic, so they knew better. But now those two groups are both approaching the tree, and if left unattended to, they could spark more fighting, irregardless of you. So you must head out and confront this group. Your initial approach is pretty much just getting them to settle down over their yelling. You mostly hear the Church of God's Grand Nectar until you get close and realize that the Space Governors are speaking telepathically. And they're also very loud.
At some point during this, I just fire my my machine rifle into the air to get them all to shut up.
Alright, so, I'm going to say that counts as something, but I don't know what. I mean, it's not a fight. You're trying to separate people.
Impressing?
Yeah, I would say
that's
impressing.
Yeah,
impressing.
makes sense.
Yep. What did I put in that? I put a D8 in that, so let's see how confident I am. or how well my confidence translates. That is a 6.
6.
That is exactly. Yeah.
Rat says hoping there'd be some failure. Oh well.
I got
There's
one
always
more
time in
by
the future.
patrol.
So yeah, you just fire straight up and you get everybody's attention. They remember what you brought to the planet beforehand, so
Yes,
everybody
death.
just turns to you and you're like, the Marines. My apologies. We were just discussing things with our psychic friends here.
Do you? I mean, do they
Right.
do they have the Emperor's permission to be psychic? Is there some heresy going on here?
Well, they're nobles, so presumably yes. These are
Hmm.
they're fine. They're nobles.
Hmm.
That means they were probably given dispensation.
Go on and keep talking to us, but I'm going to be closely investigating each and every single one of these psychics to see if they have any mutations.
Don't have to have any worry of us, of course. We were placed here with the Emperor's express permission, of course. Which, of course, means that we should be the ones to approach Yggdrasil.
Oh, I'm not happy that I got a good success. This is me gathering information by checking these people to see if they have mutations. I am upset that I rolled a 6 and thus it's fine. Grr.
I guess they don't. From the sounds of it, that sounds like it's a bad thing
It is
in this universe.
Yeah, having mutations is a bad thing in this universe.
Yeah, I think with that gather information, you know that all of these guys are clear, and in fact, there were some actual non-clear psychics pre-war, but they don't seem to be around anymore.
Okay.
Whether it was because, they were trying to call the population because, because they actually believe in the Emperor, or if they were just afraid of you, you're not entirely sure, but
Sorry,
it's all clear now.
Keep doing your roleplay. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I guess. What is each of your factions' intentions with the big tree?
We desire knowledge.
Being they can talk in your heads, the space governors go first. Honestly, we don't have many intentions. We merely plan to study Yggdrasil without puncturing it. Mostly just any psychic and physical observations we can make before the Emperor gets here. We would like to make them. We wish to understand this thing that's on the planet. We were unable to before, due to, the previous inhabitants. They didn't like anybody approaching Yggdrasil. And the holy men wait for them to stop speaking psychically and go, I mean, it's Yggdrasil. We gotta open up Yggdrasil. There's nectar in there. That's our thing. We have scoured this universe for the most delicious of God's gifts. And it must be here now, the greatest source of all of it. We have searched through space, and here it is. How could we keep away from it?
I just did something, so I don't want to do another thing, but I have a dumb idea for how to solve this.
I have an even dumber one, but
God?
I can't roll. I don't have to roll twice in a row.
We just
either.
went, yeah,
I
come
just
on.
went two.
Alice or Jeff, let's go.
Yeah, that's what you got.
Well, if they both want it, then obviously we should take it and that neither of them have it, and then threaten it with terrible harm, and the one that cares the most will let the other one have it, just because they care about it more, thus meaning they're the one that should have it.
This is a logical solution.
I'm pretty sure the Emperor has banned that practice because it always ends up with a thing getting cut in half.
Well, that also solves the problem, doesn't it? It's an efficient
with
solution.
the wisdom of Brother Sicarius.
Alright, so...
As Chapter Master V.I. Linus once said, That solves all problems. You must be able to crack many eggs to make a space omelet.
Guessing
What is an
then.
omelet? I don't understand.
I guess this is another impress civilians, huh? Because
Yes.
you're not being nice. They're both not gonna like you after this, and it's extremely not protecting them.
I am not nice to very advanced forms of plant life. That is an 8.
That is. I believe that's success with collateral damage.
Yes. Well.
Minor collateral.
Okay. Well.
Getting hurt.
Okay. Well, we're both banned from it, but God wants us to have this gift, so perhaps we will accept these terms. I mean, we have nothing to worry about. Let's just go back to town and end this. And so, the two groups are going to start heading to town. There is going to be fighting for whoever gets the tree. And it is definitely going to come to fighting. So either you're going to do something to stop this now, or try to cool things down when conflict begins. But hey, Rect, do you have anything you want to do? What's your timing on this one?
Yes. Herect wants to he wants to find like a big pipe, and he wants to jam it in the tree to get some of that nectar out, and to see what's what. Maybe that will help if he just brings some to them and they don't go to the tree.
All right, so
I'm gonna tap the big tree.
it's not quite building thing. I probably.
Gathering information?
I
Yeah,
think I'm building a tap for the tree.
Okay, yeah, I'll accept that.
Okay, it's a D8. Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh, 1.
Oh no.
Absolute terrible failure.
But there's
Oh, no.
not cloud damage.
Oh my god. You just attempt to shove a pipe through Yggdrasil. You get through many whacks before you even make a dent in it. And when you do finally make a dent, the skies darken, and you're just standing like on a pile of, dirt and soil around the tree, and what initially seems like nectar just bursts up from the ground and causes a minor rock slide, while also, like, the color of what you thought was nectar just turns red as blood. And you just wash down a hill covered in blood-like sap, just on top of rocks. You're unharmed, but
I think this washes Herect all the way into the town. He just like
Yes.
slides to a stop, like in a road, just like lying on his back, just like looking at the sky.
and
no.
of course that means the nectar's going to keep flowing. And indeed, it just kind of keeps going. And of course, first to notice this is the church. And they just look at the nectar, look at you, look at Yggdrasil, look at the nectar, look at you. What have you done?
Well, can't it be devoured while it is on the ground?
This is not a blessing from God. This is a punishment. No. A warning. Surely this heathen would have been killed if this were a threat from God. If this were God lashing out. Still, though, this means you have angered them.
There is no god who can kill one of the chosen brothers of our order.
This guy just kind of like eyes you and then walks away very quickly, and all the church people follow suit. The space governor is just standing there like, they seem to have retreated. Does that mean that we are able to peruse Yggdrasil at our leisure then? Is it
No.
ours?
Mm-mm.
Herect like sits up and he's very sticky now because he's covered in gooey sap that's bloody. He's like, well, if you can make it through that, he just points back like the basically like the lake of blood around the tree.
Yes, I believe we're able to. And they all just kind of hover off the ground and make their way to the tree.
Hmm.
Fucking slackers. Oh, look at me, I can fly. Ooh.
What a productive first day.
Yeah,
We have
unless-
solved the problem with minimal casualties. Rejoice, brothers.
Yeah, unless any of y'all have any other good ideas.
I think it's all
I-
doing one roll per day is
I'm-
probably is a
I'm-
good pacing.
Yeah,
That's what I
I
was
agree,
thinking as
and like
well.
but I did want to fuck with them. I want since I have.
There'll be more chances in the future, Jenner.
Okay. I'll wait then because like I want to keep moving the tree away from them and just make them wander around Yaktu sack style because I do have move heavy objects, so I can just pick up the tree.
This
and just move
tree's
it.
like the big as a continent. It's very big.
You go on.
Catastrophic
the
success
world
at that
tree,
point
or
is
at
upon
least
theological
big enough to
failure.
be.
You can probably see it from space.
All right,
You
what's
can literally see it from space.
day 2? What we got?
All right, so day 2. Well, there's 2 things you can do. That stream of blood nectar is still there in town. You can either clean up that mess, or the church members have gone back to heckle the governors. So I feel like either you can try to appease the church by cleaning up not your mess, you didn't do anything wrong, but the mess that they might take offense to.
Yeah, we can do no wrong.
So, yeah, up to you. Or you could split duties. Some of you could be on cleanup. Some of you could go to the tree.
I will go first.
Edelgard
if
is
you want me
very
to.
interested. Sorry about that. If you go first, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll go first. Since I went last time.
Yeah.
Herect will it's the next day and he's still just kind of lying in the same spot in the road where he was the day before. He's even stickier because like the goo has been like slowly like washing past him like at molasses rate. And he sits up and he says, well, this might cause a problem for the civilian population here. I better protect them by cleaning this up.
Alright, yeah, that's definitely a protect, so roll that d8.
Oh no.
2! Okay, so,
Mostly failures on success.
I have an idea for that.
Alright.
So I think most of our success is that he cleans up, but he cleans up by just like basically by like shoveling the mess like you would shovel like your room's mess into a closet. So like all the sap is now just in one location and causing major problems there.
Either that, or I was thinking, like, you just take a broom, but, like, you're kind of just spreading the nectar around town instead of actively getting around it, so...
Yeah, well, there's, like, a film and everything, but there's one
Yes.
spot where there's a lot of it.
Yeah, so there's just a glossy film, and just... You decide, hey, I'm going to say, since this wasn't a terrible failure, and there's no collateral, you're probably just going to shove that in the well. You briefly consider maybe putting it in like the headquarters of either the church or the space governors, but then you realize, no, that'll probably spark some kind of riot.
Both those places were uphill and it's hard to get to. The well is downhill because it's the lowest point.
Yeah, maybe the well will wash away the impurities of the nectar, or just dilute it and you don't have to care anymore. It's
I'll
fine.
just say I don't mind.
That's a problem that's definitely been taken care of. The town's shiny now. What does everybody else want to do?
Edelgard is highly interested in this nectar because this is a consumable substance. Why do the civilians not wish to consume the substance? I do not understand the concept of cuisine, and I must know more. It is a shameful gap in my knowledge. So-
Alright, so you're gonna gather some information.
I think specifically, what she's actually going to do is she is going to attempt to build a workshop to study this. I'd like to make this a building repairing things roll just because I think it'll be more fun if we get something that's more likely to do collateral damage.
I mean, either way, you don't
Oh,
understand.
no, they're both some sixes for me. Crap.
Yeah, they're both
Oh, no.
D6s, and they're both involving cuisine, which is the thing.
So
you
I roll a
don't
d6 and a
understand.
d10. That's true. All right. Let's see how I do with this. The
So-
highest dice is 8, so this is a success with minor collateral.
Okay, so which side did you err on? Probably building the.
Oh, absolutely building the study workshop. This is Edelgard has just decided to build a research outpost.
Mm-hmm. All
He's
right,
pulling
so
fab out of our space shuttle, everything.
so you requisition some stuff from town to help you set up. Everybody will thank you for that later, and you kind of just set up shop. I mean, technically, you could set up anywhere in town, but like now the biggest concentration at the moment is in the wells, so why not set up next to that?
Oh god,
Just,
what if we destroy the well? I destroy the actual well, like setting this thing up.
Hey, yeah, I mean that'll get it out of the way. You're even closer to the source now.
It was inefficient to have this here, and it did not seem to be holding anything potable. I have eradicated it. You will thank me later. Angry glaring at civilians.
That was a success, though. So, I mean, you set it up.
We now have a little research station to
Well,
research
clearly,
the properties of.
She must learn something about the stuff then.
Yeah, so let's see. What do you learn? I mean,
What if I don't learn anything, but instead I use this as an opportunity to prove the superiority of my research methods to the psychic governors and convince them that they don't need to be up near the tree when they have this wonderful source with highly superior technology, the best in the Imperium.
all right. So I think you got that. If that's what you want your success to be, but I think somebody else is going to need to approach them to get all of them to go there, and not just some of them. Because, I mean, it's a group, so, like, they don't all need to be in one place, and some people want to look at what the tree's like. Gotta investigate that tree, so...
You see, the problem with civilian, as you called them, is that they need to be guided by a firm, noble hand, and as you all know, I, Cato Sicarius, carry the gene seed of the Marquis of the Fleberton Nebula, and I will impress upon them the need for them to move into this shiny new facility. I'm going to talk to them.
Alright. So that sounds like you are impressing them with your own title.
Yes, from one posh asshole to another.
Do it.
Alright, so yeah,
Do
that's a
I have?
D12.
Impress. Oh boy, what is this? That is a 9.
Alright, 9. Excellent, excellent. So that's still success with minor collateral. Alright, so you do convince them, hey, you're noble, they're noble. And you know, you're not posh exactly. You know, they're not used to your attitude, but at the same time, you seem to know what you're talking about, and your title is true, so they start heading back to the tree, and as they do, the church is going to stay there for now, especially now that the governors are gone. They seem to be doing ceremonies, but meanwhile,
Oh,
the
what?
governors...
There's a perfectly good church here. Just not being in use. Go on.
So the governor's returned to town. However, there is collateral, and so this is going to be extremely upsetting to the citizens. They return to town and see, my God, it's true that there is good research going on. In fact, the research is so good, the nectar's just everywhere. There's just a film all around the place. So they're just gonna set up shop. These posh nobles are just all over the place,
Okay.
and they are scooping up nectar.
No,
They're getting
no,
to places
no.
they shouldn't.
No. Look,
Picking it up.
no. These nobles are just gonna hoard that for themselves. We've seen how nobles are. I'm a communist.
are.
Somebody needs to make sure that this is dispersed equally amongst the people.
I'm
So
gonna start a bread line for the nectar.
I'm going to be doing. No, I'm just going to be doing. I'm going to redistribute the sap to equally amongst everybody, and not just let the rich hoard it all. I'm going to be making
you got past screening for the Marines.
I'm going to roll my Be Nice to Civilians, which I have a D6 in, because this is a nice thing to do. Ah, yes, perfect.
Terrible failure.
I'm sure that I just
beautiful.
start gunning down the bourgeoisie. I mean,
This is a terrible
But
failure.
it's not
There
a
isn't
blast.
collateral, though.
Oh.
So you
Yeah.
just fuck up big time.
You give it all to the nobles. 'Cause
you know.
You don't mean to, but you do.
They keep disguising
You're being
themselves
nice,
as
Yeah,
these
so-
people.
they keep. Oh
and you
God,
don't
yeah,
know which ones
I
they are.
I don't understand fashion, so they keep putting on different clothes and showing back up.
Oh wait! Even better, you failed at being nice. What if like you go to redistribute it in such an intimidating way that all of the people voluntarily cede it to the governors,
Oh,
rather than have anything to do with you?
They oh god, like a protection racket.
oh my gosh! Yeah, accidental protection racket.
Well, that's good for your side of the story when the envoy comes, because, I don't know, is redistribution of nectar-based wealth really a thing that the Space Marines would be about?
Oh, it depends. Absolutely.
Okay. I guess the question is then, is your group all about that?
I am about the annals of the Omniscience. I care not for such conduct.
If
Yeah,
it makes
I-
them quiet.
We are very much the awkward squad. It
All
sent
right.
us here knowing this.
At the very least, then, this is expected behavior from you. So you won't be in trouble with your bosses when everybody else comes in. However, yeah, nobody's happy about this whole thing. Like, I think the moment you turn your back and you're like, I've done good, you just see a bunch of the governors float in and just look real menacing at some of the normal townspeople, and they just shakily hand over their own wands of nectar over, and the psychics just float away.
So awful. Welp. Roops.
Anne will witness this from her research station, but she decides not to act, as it is more efficient to simply wait until they recollect all the nectar and then study it more efficiently, and then redistribute it.
Alright, so I believe everybody's gone this round, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alright, so then give it up for day 3. So you wake up and immediately get complaints from the governors that the church is still at the tree. They've been up all night, they've been doing whatever rituals it is that they're doing. The governors really want them to stop it.
I see no purpose in these rituals or your objections. We have plenty of study material. I think you are all whiners and losers.
Okay. What
Perhaps
sorry, go ahead. I have an idea though, but go ahead.
you go ahead. No, I
Alright,
was gonna think
alright.
that you go ahead.
I'm going to do a building and repairing things roll because I have an idea for how to handle
Alright.
these floating psychic people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some nice ceiling fans on the inside of their church. But I'm going to lower them to just about neck height for most people and then put razor blades on the edges of the fans. So they can fly all they want, but they'll chop their fucking heads off.
Thing is, you're going to threaten them by building.
A 9. Okay.
9.
A 9 is
That is minor
success
collateral.
with minor collateral. Good. They're definitely gonna like lose some scalps. It's gonna be some death here.
I think this works too well. I think it absolutely intimidates them, but it intimidates them because a regular ass person who happens to be a little too tall walks in and immediately dies.
Yeah, like nobody actually wants to be in the church now. A few of the people who are at the tree come back for like to pick up breakfast and then notice this death trap you've created. One guy walks in too soon. Everybody's shouting, oh God, Benny!" And yeah, you're accustomed to the sight of gore, so it's fine, whatever. But yeah, and like. You do get a few of the psychics who, like, try to go in to complain directly, but eventually they're just like, oh, well, that's a bit of a pain, isn't it? Roderick was probably mutated anyway, we don't need to worry about him. Also, I guess, yeah, sure, we won't go into that church anymore, we're picking up what you're putting down. Just out of curiosity, if we did want to go in there, what's your plan if we just stop the blades from moving?
I mean, go ahead and I didn't actually put a thing on it to stop the blades. I look in character, like out of character, I put razor edges on the blades because it's what a space marine would do, not know how to make anything but a weapon. But in character, like Gaius really was just genuinely trying to make the church more comfortable, but just figured they'd put some razor blades on the edge. And also, why would you want to shut off a nice fan that's keeping your church nice and cool? So Gaius didn't put anything in there that could shut it off. I mean, sure, you could.
There's
shut
no
it off.
switch. It's just power.
It's just power. There's no switch to turn it on and off. I guess they could telekinetically hold it in place, but they'd have to sit there concentrating on it to hold it in place the entire time. They'd have to like set up a rotation and shit. There isn't a switch.
The governors don't have to be in the building, so one just stops the fan for a moment just to show he can, dabs, and then floats off.
If he does that, I just shoot right beside his head. Like,
No, wait, hey, hold on, let me do something here.
oh yeah, you go. This is better for you.
I, Cato Sicarius, am deeply offended at the very notion that Blade would ever be stopped by anything, especially magic. So, I'm going to lift all these some of these fans, and I'm going to attempt to tie them to one of these guys so that he can never escape the fan on his back. So he will learn his lesson.
All right. This is lifting heavy objects, I think, right?
Initially, yes, but I'm actually curious how this is going to go. I might give Alice a second roll, depending on the results.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is a 6.
I mean,
Are you
that
in the other
works.
game?
I can't see
Oh,
what
you're rolling dice.
rolling, Alice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still in War Bad Robot Gold. Lol.
Either way, that's a 6.
Well, that just works. You just tie it around this man. The person you have chosen just has this on him, and it is on him in such a way that if he tries to psychic it off, he will just bleed to death. He will accidentally stab himself. You have created a saw trap around this man. To what end, I don't know.
With like a life spent telekinesis thing.
Obviously. See, now he will know better than to say such terribly cruel things about swords, which are, of course, the greatest of all possible implements of death.
Now, that being said, again, I know we mostly do one roll per day here. I also want you to roll a d12 for impressing civilians, because I want to know how everybody else reacts to this.
That would be a success with minor collateral.
All right, so yeah, everybody else gets what you're putting out.
Or
One of
rather,
them-
I'm putting out that trying to teach a gallant lesson in the nature of swordsmanship as being very superior, and everyone else is getting the lesson of you should probably shut up or I'll attach a saw trap to you.
do not fuck with Kato.
And I
One
get
person attempts to sort of unhook his friend and definitely cuts himself real bad.
he gets
And
super maimed.
Well,
not only does he get maimed, but now there's just going to be that sort of awkwardness between them as friends, because that other guy didn't try hard enough to save me. Is he really my friends? I'm in hell now.
so witnessing this, I feel that there is only one thing that Ed can do in her divinely ordained by the Omnissiah, role, which is bless these injured and dying people with the gift of cybernetics.
Wait,
I
are you
like the
gonna?
role to be nice to civilians because
Are you
I'm
gonna
going to
make
try
this
and
cy-
reconstruct
Oh,
all of the people
God.
that have just died as a result of our shenanigans.
Yes. Give me
Please
that.
tell me that you're going. Please tell me you're connecting the fan, the terrible fan, to this guy as a
Oh,
part
absolutely!
of him,
I'm giving him
cybernetic
that as one of
augment?
his cybernetic things. So I got some bad news for y'all. This is my D20.
D20.
16!
Oh,
We got
God.
the big collateral.
Dire collateral. Oh my god.
We love it.
All right, so yeah, dire collateral results in straight up civilian death. So, you create a new monstrosity with this fan as the core. And now there is just a big golem made of the recently dead. And I guess the guy attached to this fan is sort of the emotional center of it, and he feels naught but despair. The guy who tried to help him before goes up to him. He's like, "Hey, come on, man, calm down. I know you're a golem now." And he just gets smacked straight to the distance.
It's because he doubted
I
their
consider
friendship.
this like a job well done, as he is now more efficient and powerful. And I
He's
continue
very
my work on the remaining injured and dead.
All right, so he just goes stomping. I think first target, he's gonna go towards the tree. Who has not gone this round?
Jeff.
It's right.
I think just Jeff and you. Right? No, you already went Scarlet. You rolled the 14.
Yeah,
you
I just
yeah,
caused this
Yeah, you just, all
monstrosity.
right, Jeff. You're the It's you.
Well, I mean, this is no longer a civilian. This is a war machine. So I'm gonna fire my grapple cannon at it and defeat it in righteous combat.
You do. you don't need to roll for that. You succeed on combat actions.
Yes, I fire the grapple cannon and grapple it and pull it to me. Oh God, my phone. Why is it playing Star Trek? Get out here. And I think I like swing it around in like a big circle a bunch of times. When I just grapple to the end of the grapple cannon and then just like throw it over the horizon.
All right, so give me a protect civilians roll.
Oh yes, okay. That's a
Just gonna
D8.
show up with like two more of these golems and go like, "Brother, why did you dispose of this improved civilian? I liked him."
All right, so that's an 8. So tell me, which group are you more interested in protecting at this point? The governors or the church?
I don't really like the governor, so the church is by default.
Okay, so I was gonna say the horizon would have counted as going towards the ceremony if you weren't on there, airing towards them, but since you don't like the governors as much, you make sure not to crush anything the church holds dear. You throw it to the distance. The collateral isn't the fact that this golem lands on the guy who got punched into the horizon as well. It does do that, but it then just releases a psychic wave planet-wide. It is just pure distress. The governors are just immediately on the ground sobbing as they feel this wave of energy pulse over them.
Do not understand. I improved him. Why is he sad?
I mean, clearly they're crying because, your friend, Correct here, just destroyed the cool golem you made.
Yes, I guess
Yeah,
we return to this tomorrow.
Yep. It is now day 4.
Okay, I've bullied the church enough. It's time to bully the other people.
Well, you bullied the governors enough.
Well, the governors are the ones who are psychic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's time to bully the other group.
I'm going to say, since the ceremonies pretty much went off without a hitch yesterday, nobody interrupted them, the sap is back to normal.
Yay!
The film is gone. What little might be left here and there is a normal color. And yeah, the members of the church have returned to town, and they're now just satisfied with a job well done. They have calmed the gods.
Is everything so sticky though? That's
A
important.
little bit, yeah. Just
Okay.
because you get rid of the visible film doesn't mean it's completely gone.
Yeah. So you really hear it when you're walking around.
What about my research supply?
You have what you managed to obtain the previous days. It
Okay,
didn't-
I still have my many samples for understanding the civilian cuisine.
Yes. All right. So yes, Jenner, you wanted to fuck with the church then?
Church is the people who aren't floating in psychic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's time to fuck with the church. So, they should go out and they should go out and celebrate that, shouldn't they? Should go out and celebrate the lovely job that they did fixing the sap. What are they doing right now to celebrate the lovely job that they've done fixing the sap?
Some of them are resting, some of them are kind of just riding high. They seem like they're going about their normal day, but they just have this sort of, very satisfied air about them. Some psychics would call them smug, but they're not really in an emotional state to really insult them as much today.
I'm gonna have a nice barbecue because it's been almost 3 days and Gaius hasn't burned a thing yet. So Gaius is gonna have a nice barbecue with their flamethrower right next to the church, so that I can burn it down. This is going to be either impressing civilians or being nice to civilians. I'm going to say impressing civilians. I want to impress civilians with my cool and good ability at burning things. The thing is, Gaius is very good at burning things in the way that you burn enemies, rampantly with big fire. Let's see how good Gaius is at doing a barbecue. Oh, come on.
Great at it.
They have a success.
You. Fuck
thing
You
you.
is-
accidentally uncover a secret passion for
Here's the
barbecue.
thing, see, you're good at burning things, so you have a good cook. You do cooking well. The thing is, you weren't very confident in impressing civilians, so in terms of actual fire, you were actually kind of nervous about the whole thing. I would like to point out you could not have done success with collateral on those dice. You would have
I
had to fuck
know.
up cooking,
I
which
know.
I don't think would have been your results, but you
could-
actually just impressed them.
I couldn't think of a way to use a higher dice to cause destruction, because my high dice that can go over 10 are in that can go 10 and over are on assigning parades, lifting heavy objects, and building and repairing things. I can't really go into massive destruction doing this actual nice stuff, which sucks. So yeah, but I was kind of hoping that I could it would be a terrible failure and I could burn down the church or something, because there aren't any people in it. But yeah, a success means they're just impressed by my ability to grill.
It's a good barbecue.
It's a good
Yeah, they
barbecue.
come out and they're like, "Oh dang, is that for us?"
It is for you, and it's good. The meat is cooked perfectly the way they all like it. So the people who want it very rare, bam. The people who want it overdone, oh, that's easy for Gaius.
I imagine these are all species on this planet that are no longer. They're all extinct now.
Yep. Whoops.
We killed them during the war.
Yeah, so I guess Gaius has just made a real good barbecue. Otherwise, things are pretty calm around town. Nobody's at the tree anymore. I think the church understands that if they try to get too hands-on with it, then the governors are going to maybe cause a fuss again, and they're just gonna wait until the envoy arrives, and hopefully the envoy will be on their side. The governor's still reeling.
So I think that in the spirit of continuing general shenanigans, there is something that Ed should very much do here, which is proselytize to the non-believers. Because there's this great bonfire going on right now, and a barbecue, and all these civilians are getting together and enjoying the communal ritual of cuisine. And have you had a minute to talk about what the Omnisaya might do for your life?
Yeah, that would clearly make the nobles not sad anymore, right? If they
it would make the nobles not sad because I've just converted the church to a different religion, and it would make the people of the church happy because they are worshiping the Omnisaya and thus be devoted to the true things that are important in the universe, like replacing 90% of your body with cybernetics.
Why would anyone be sad when they brought the Omni Messiah into their heart?
Exactly.
All right. So this sounds like it's being nice, and of course,
this is. I think this is impressing, but I think I should roll my cuisine here because I'm trying to impress upon them the importance of coming to my faith. 9 is my best roll, so I am success with minor collateral.
all right. So the collateral. Well then, I think you've started sparking interest in Yggdrasil again because you're talking about faith. Everybody's just sitting around, the bonfire, eating food. The governors are kind of in the back, just, psychically draining the flavor out of some of the meat from a distance to feed. But everybody is hearing your words, and it seems like, you know what? You guys are here for a reason. It's important that the Marines have arrived. They're here to protect your Yggdrasil and the rest of the planets. Why can't all of the other civilians understand that? And so, after all is said and done, the church begins doubling down on their efforts to convert the civilians who are, not part of the church. And the governors start looking through some old documents and, start working out how the law could serve the Omnigod or whatever.
Omnisaya. And
Omnisaya.
also, I feel I need to stress this. Ed has definitely brought up some pamphlets that are very clearly handmade and just in a crude scrawl explaining the tenets of her weird cyber religion and just inviting people. She's got a little clipboard and a sign-up sheet going if you wish to officially join the church, step this way for cybernetic enhancements.
This is much funnier because you're wearing huge armor and you have gigantic gauntlets on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Tiny pin.
I want to say, hold on a second. Fefner is not familiar with 40K, so I am going to Google an image real fast, but I think in contrast to just being an ordinary-ass Space Marine, oh gosh, no, I don't want just the model. Where's the actual art? Oh, that's good enough. That's good enough. And I'm just going to post this in chat.
All right.
This is kind of how I imagine Ed looking. It's just
Okay, so-
lady version of this.
I'm sort of familiar with that armor. Okay, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, consequently, hey, good news. The major powers on the planet are definitely a little more on your side now. They're starting to come around. Bad news, the other civilians are even more weirded out by you now.
Well, it doesn't really matter. They are basically a kind of plant matter anyway.
Throw it on the grill. Hey, oh gosh, let's try and season some of this food with some of that sap. Bring that over here.
All right, so
It's my
Kato
turn.
and Herect have yet to go. Things are going super well, probably.
I'll go next. So not since everyone's at the barbecue and the town is kind of like cleared out at the moment. We're halfway through the week. We got to plan for that parade. Like it has to go off perfectly. You can't plan a whole parade in one day. So Freck is going to be like looking through town, looking for the best parade route, and making sure that the parade would be passing aesthetically pleasing to him.
Did you say parade? I know lots of things about parades. They are very gallant.
Yes. We have to also make sure that the parade did not go back anything that is displeasing to the eye.
Yeah, so roll that d20 for parades. 12. Excellent. Good.
Perfect.
All right, so that's success with dire collateral.
I have an idea for it.
I don't know if this is going to come up yet since this is just the planning stages, but I think for one, you definitely have an outdated map. So you just have a map that is completely wrong. Like, this is a map you got years upon years upon years ago when, the Marines were just first discovering this planet. Buildings are not as they are on that map. There are some buildings and paths that maybe you aren't accounting for, in fact.
Well, this just won't do. So I think one of those paths goes through like a museum, and correct, just like you have to, the path has to go through here. It's the way that this is like parade like what's the fucking like geomancy here, where everything has to be right. It's like feng shui. So it goes right through the museum. He just like pushes like all like the ancient jars and like various things out of this like thoroughfare to the center of the museum to make room, and just like there's broken potsherds everywhere. But this is the route has been planned. Is perfect. The emperor would be so impressed. He's really happy with it.
All right, excellent. All right, so hey, Kato, you also sounded pretty excited about parades. You still plan on parades?
Yes, actually. I think that Kato Sicarius, is going to gather some information on what sort of what kind of what kind of parades and various celebrations do they have on this planet that would be suitably gallant.
All right, so this is a gather information roll for now, but I'll have to keep that in mind when you actually put that information to use in parades. 2! All right, so 2. Mostly failure, some success. All right, So what specific information are you looking for? Or I guess, like, how are you looking for this information, I guess?
I am loudly asking the civilian. I do not know if they have ears. I am assuming they communicate through vibrations.
Oh, okay, I know. Okay, so, hey, you want to know their the culture, what kind of parades they usually throw? They direct you to 2 different locations, the library and the museum. So you go to the museum to sort of see a history of what kind of celebrations they typically do. You know, how like what they might have, how they might throw these. But oddly enough, a lot of the displays that would have anything to do with that are just gone now.
Well,
That
clearly
is-
the way that they celebrate these things is by destroying things, because all this stuff's broken.
Yes, of course. Most a most excellent display. Capital.
Yes, that's pretty much all the info you need. Maybe you go to the library, look at one book that has to do with the parades. You understand completely what it's about from the title. You don't need to actually read the thing. You get it. So
Why, of course, I am very learned. I am I am the model of a modern mage general.
All right.
Next day.
Yeah, that's everybody. So, it is day 5. It turns out it's a good thing you're here, because silence falls over the planet. Because you see, I couldn't just abandon the idea I'd half come up with beforehand, so it is on this day that a new faction has arrived, and they're also after the nectar within Yggdrasil. That's right, bears piloting mechs arrive, and they're beelining it for Yggdrasil.
Bears have come to heist the sap, which is like honey if you think about it.
Yeah, it's the most glorious sap of all, the most glorious honey of all, and they're here for it. And they've got weapons to back them up, but you're Marines. So, hey, how do you defeat these bears' mechs?
I find that they have flaws in their construction. For instance, they did not make their mechs strong enough to stand up to my servitor golems, of which, thanks to the rampant death I have accidentally caused, I now have several.
Alright, so yeah, they just fucking chop up some of these mechs. I feel like I can just ask Gaius what he does, and I already know. Gaius is just going to burn these mechs, prove me wrong.
I mean, Gaius is going to melt these mechs into a fine slag. However, Gaius is going to do it from near the church, so I can fucking actually successfully burn this church down. I'm not happy that I didn't successfully burn the church down. I would like to burn the church down. Gaius goes a little happy with the fire, as he always does. It is going to incinerate these mechs and melt them down to nothing, but also, whoops, incinerate the church. It's fine.
Yeah, you gotta make a roll for that and do
No,
fire
actually,
damage for that
that's
to
not-
happen.
That's
Okay.
not
You're good at
Be honest
combat.
to you.
No, you're good at combat, so if you're not doing this accidentally, you can just burn the church down.
I would like to burn
It's
the
just
church
men
down.
out of spite.
Look, the church provides these bears with a tactical advantage that we cannot allow. Gives them cover, so I have to burn this church down to make sure that the bears have no cover, and then I will incinerate these bears. And do you want me to make a roll of some sort for like doing something nice? Because this is just combat. I'm just destroying these bears. but
You're not
also
doing
burning.
anything
Yeah,
nice.
I'm just burning down this church and killing these bears. Yeah, they're melted. I melt them.
Why were they in the church? Who knows? But now they're not, because they're dead.
Alright, well then. We've got Kato and Herect left.
Correct. Wants to protect the civilians. Actually, no. Correct wants to impress the civilians with his combat acumen. So he's fighting, but he's also like being a showboat about it.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna
To
put a
real-
dent in your plans, possibly.
Yes.
Hey, 5's pretty good, though.
No, I just do it.
Yeah, you not only do you defeat these bears in combat, but the citizens are actually kind of into it. Which means, hey, Kato, you don't have to go in there for the save. Correct didn't just hubris himself into a dangerous spot.
Yeah, I'm still covered in sap, so I'm glistening in the sunlight. It's a thing to behold.
Why do I get the feeling that like your character just like doesn't wear chest armor specifically to show off his oiled chest?
Well, no, that would not be technically sound.
What he does,
But my armor does have abs, like carved into it.
If you remember, like the old lamellar plate of the ancient Romans, where they still made the breastplate look like a male chest.
Yes, exactly.
That's what his power armor looks like.
The Codex of Scottius calls
It's
this
very
maneuver
toned.
Steel Rain.
So here's the thing. Cato Sicarius doesn't believe that civilians are, like, sapient creatures. But if they are, then impressing and or saving them would be the gallant thing to do. It doesn't matter that he doesn't necessarily need to. Or that they are not even in danger. He can find danger to bring to them and then save them from. So he's going to attempt to protect civilians.
Alright. Much as I want you to use that D12, it is more of a protect.
You know, actually, I think I should do the D12, because I don't really care about protecting them. It's more about impressing them. I need them to understand how awesome I am. As I, Kato Sakara, rolled a 10!
Success, hey, with only minor collateral. You end up wrecking some of these buildings in the process of defeating the bear mechs.
Which I do with a sword.
Yep, nobody's
Obviously.
killed, but yeah, you slash some of the buildings. Some people are now trapped in them behind rubble. You definitely mess up town square, but they're impressed. They won't fuck with you.
I, of course, as soon as they are done, while everything is on fire and there are mechs all over the place, will, of course, give a gallant speech on the merit of good, proper swordsmanship.
Literally,
And how
I
it's the only
studied the
thing that
blade.
matters. I studied the blade, of course, on ancient Terra 1,000 years ago.
So here's the thing. We've just defeated a large army of mech piloting bears, and Ed is highly interested in this because it is logical for them to have understood the need for such cybernetic robotics. I had no idea that the lower forms were capable of such pristine logic. I would like to welcome you into the cult Mechanicus. I want to roll to convert the bears to my weird religion.
Alright, so... what the fuck does this count as?
Impressing?
Being nice to civilians.
Nice, I guess.
Alright, so yeah, roll the d20.
Let's see how badly I fuck up every good thing we've had happen to us. That is pretty fucked up.
17. Success with dire collateral. Oh my
Well-
god, I've been trying to figure out the fucking...
Well, I think like worship her instead of whatever deity she's actually trying to espouse, and starts a religious war.
I think I'm too success. Well, this is success. Like this is. I got what I wanted. I just destroyed everything in between me and that. I think what happens is I absolutely make these bears into a cult Mechanicus.
Yep, 100%.
And the bears have now decided the same thing that I have quietly decided the whole time, which is these civilians require extensive remodeling. They're too fragile.
God,
So they
like-
are, and being that they are unable to do as I do and proselytize, they are now going door to door and just like grabbing people and dragging them to be cybernetically improved.
Oh god, just, yeah, bears of all shapes and sizes, wearing the most scientific or religious hats they could get at a short notice. Some of them are still, like, wearing
I'm so proud
fezzes.
of them.
That they were wearing before, but God, I was trying to figure out what the faction lines would be by the end of this. So, uh, the main two powers, like you, they like Ed mostly. They got converted. The civilians don't like you, which means initially they were going to like the bears. However, now they like two different people they like two of the different Marines. But also now they don't like the bears. They were originally going to be on the bear side. But now they aren't because the bears are just kidnapping them now. Everything's a mess.
They could be on my side. I made them a lovely barbecue, and I put some lovely fans in their house. I never did anything
Well, Ryan,
wrong.
you still haven't rolled for the day yet. What
Yeah,
would you do to try and mitigate the dastardly actions I've done?
Oh gosh. I mean, what do I have high rolls in? What do I have high number in? I have to go back up to my character.
I mean, you could. Hey, the town's a mess, and some people are trapped in their houses. So either you could lift some heavy objects out of their way.
Objects. Yeah, let's lift some heavy objects. Yeah, let's do that. Let's pick up some of this rubble, help recover from this damage, and also like help these bears get these people out of their homes without wrecking their homes. That makes sense to me. Come on, please. Yes, thank you.
All 12.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
that
Thank
is
you.
success with dire collateral.
Yes.
I mean,
Just make the job easier.
oh my god, yeah, so you're definitely helping the bears out. Some people are struggling. The bears just lost mech fights and they've already been converted. They're a little bit tired from all this fighting, and then you come in and just fucking pick up a person and throw them straight into a bear hug and give that bear a thumbs up.
You got this.
Otherwise, everybody else you're helping by lifting heavy things, hey, you're doing great at lifting heavy things, and hey, you know what you can do with those heavy things after you've picked them up to get them out of the way? Toss them! If they land in other buildings, it's fine.
It's fine.
So, you have destroyed a lot more of this town, but everybody is now unburied, at the very least, so that they can then be buried instead.
Guys.
We have a glorious victory for the Emperor and the Omniscient.
Yeah,
on this.
I do want us all to roll our throw parade just to see how good the parade is, since we all
comes at
appear
the
to have.
end. You're-
Yeah.
We're gonna be on day 6 now.
Yeah.
We're still a day away from parade.
Okay.
However, everything's a mess. Obviously, the church and the governors have done a great job of helping pick everything back up, but the civilians have kind of just run away from town. They're kind of perched near Yggdrasil in fear.
Okay. Scarlett's character, I forgot your name. You go be nice you go be nice because that's what you're best at, right? Right. God, too many people good at parades. Nobody else is good. Okay.
One day before that
Yeah.
can come into play.
We gotta make floats for the parade.
Okay. Kato, your next best thing other than parades is impressing civilians. So, you do that. And my next best thing other than parades, is lifting heavy. Is yours building? Please tell me. No, yours is impressing civilians too. Okay, I'll lift heavy objects to.
Always try to help repair the town, because you did just lift the heavy objects. The heavy
yeah.
stuff's been lifted.
I'll do building and repairing. I'll do some building and repairing because that's the third best thing I have. Alice, you should try doing something that you can roll high on so we can get a success, right? Not a terrible failure.
Max chaos.
Yeah. And Jeff, same with you. So let's see what you do first, Scarlett. Unless you don't want to try being nice and you want to try being something else, I'm not actually in charge.
Here's the thing. I've been benevolent to these people.
Mm-hmm.
I brought them the gift of the Omniscient not once but twice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I and my new clergy, made up of the separatists from the Church of the Nectar, and my new bear clergy, who I am struggling to teach the language of the Omniscient, but it's working better because there's more overlap between Growling and Baynaric Cove than you realize. We are now preparing for the parade in the one way I think we can, which is we are going to attempt. There's still a lot of debris and everything. We're going to clear the parade route as a show of good faith. I'm going to roll for lifting heavy objects.
Okay.
All right. That's D12.
So- Yeah. That is a full success.
Nicely
Hey,
done.
I did it.
So-
Yeah, it's pretty much it. You just you you pretty much fix all of the messes that Gaius made yesterday. You clear the roads. It's all good. You've got bears and little bishop hats helping you. It's no problem. You got psychics helping you. You're good. You're fine.
I'm going to
Yeah,
attempt
I
to.
literally just go down the road on bareback, dabbing all the way.
Yeah. Dad's coming home. We gotta make sure that this place doesn't look like it's a wreck. I'm gonna try and build and repair things. Oh no.
3.
Mostly a failure, but there is some success.
There's so much duct tape.
It looks so fucking cobbled together. It's like I'm making a diorama for Dad.
It is technically livable, but you mostly use what supplies you have on hand. It's a lot of cardboard, a lot of duct tape. As long as it doesn't rain, people could probably live and work in these buildings.
Nice. You did it.
All right. So, yeah, there aren't many, average civilians in town at the moment, but things are starting to look a little bit better.
All right. Well, correct. Planning still for the parade. We gotta impress the civilians with our show of parade acumen. So, I gotta go gather like all of our most impressive like battle vehicles that will be the things going through this parade tomorrow and get them ready.
All right.
9.
That
Successful.
is but a 9. That is a minor collateral. So yeah, you're just getting all of these vehicles together, and just from the distance, the people at Yggdrasil are watching as just cars of all shapes and sizes. Some of the vehicles are theirs, not anymore. at
No,
the
these are
moment.
like
Some of
these
them
are like our
military vehicles.
military, all the military vehicles. So like the big
Yeah.
thing that has like the spike tires with like rotating saw blades on the front of it, that kind of shit. Like just the terrifying vehicles of war.
You have to have the impressive vehicles for the parade, but
Exactly.
you also have to have some more chill cars as well, just to make sure. So now the civilians are on this hill seeing both these militarized vehicles and also their own that they won't be able to ride anymore. So,
These vehicles unimpressive, but we have to care to their meek needs.
all right. So, Kato, do you help the parade, or are you going to try to convince the civilians to come back to town?
I'm going to nobly and gallantly talk to the civilian to convince them that it is in their best interest, and also the most pleasing activity to participate in a parade of their betters. Because that is, of course, what they are there for, to be a crowd.
All right,
That's
so
why
it
we
sounds
have
like you're,
civilians.
sounds like you're being nice to them then, or are you impressing them?
I think I'm being nice. I'm trying to. I, Cato Sicarius, believe that the civilian have forgotten what they are here for, and I'm simply helping them back to the path.
All
I
right.
do this mildly badly.
All right, so yeah, you you go there. They send a representative. You plead your case about how great y'all are and how they have an important duty to uphold. He goes back for a moment, comes back. He's like, "Okay, we'll come back to town. You're just gonna throw a parade. That's it."
Why, yes. It's only a parade.
Okay. Cool. And so yeah, all civilians begin following you back. They are. I mean, they have to be pleased, right? It looks like they're just their eyes are darting around from place to place. It's probably just because they're very curious, though. They're just taking in the town the day before your great parade. And since Kato is gone, I believe that's everybody this round. So it is the 7th day. By the afternoon, the diplomatic envoy is going to arrive.
Jeff, I think you should go first because it's been a while since you've gone first.
All right. Well, it's parade time.
It's parade time.
We have to start the parade like right before they get here, so the parade route goes past where they land, and then they join the parade.
Yeah.
Like a quarter of the way through.
Mm-hmm.
So before this parade begins, you're talking to the civilians, and they're like, yeah, we're totally confident. Yeah, this is just a parade. We're fine with this. We like this. So roll an extra d10 in addition to that d20, just in case.
10.
All right, so hey, that took that from a failure to a success. So you get the parade started. You did have a few miscalculations about like the size of the vehicles versus some of the paths you've created, but that's fine. It only crushes and pushes aside a few things.
Perfect. It just makes it more impressive. This in the screams, like that's just good noise for Herat.
They said they were fine.
Yeah, they said they're fine. Why would he doesn't know what a lie is, so just takes it at face value.
All right, so, Alice, real quick, what was the thing you didn't understand again?
Love.
Love. Okay. Okay. I think we're going to save you for the end then. So. Okay. I know. Okay. So, hey. Parades can be very taxing on people. And so, especially with the citizens around on this relatively hot day, hey Ed, it seems somehow you've been put on drink duty. Weird, but okay.
Yes. I think I am going to start a lemonade stand using my remaining sap from my research thing as a sweetener. My research into cuisine has indicated this is how you make lemonade. Yes, tart fruit and sweetener in water. Let's see how badly I messed this up.
Give it a D6 and a D10.
Yep. Yeah, because this is definitely being building something. Wow! Success with only minor collateral. I wonder what kind of hell lemonade I've
We have been
created.
shockingly competent.
All right, so yes, you have created this concoction, and boy, it feels warm to the touch in the paper cups you've put it in. It must be pretty good. You don't quite get it, but it looks like a strong reaction, and strong reactions are always good, right? Cooking
I
is
hand it
just
to
a
one of my
different
bear
science.
servitors that they may taste it and determine my skill at
The
mixology.
Lets out a mighty roar, and you can just see its bare muscles bulge. You have crafted a very fine drink, so you can just start handing this out to people. It's fine. It made this bear stronger.
Please accept this benevolent gift of the Omnisaya. It will bring you great strength and vigor.
All right, so how do I work fashion into this?
Yeah.
Well, we gotta decorate all the stuff on the parade.
We have to dress up. We have to dress up for the parade we have to put on fancy garments over our usual uniforms. That's the tradition of parades. Not that my character would know that, but that's what the
Here's the
people
thing.
tell them.
I mean, I think even Gaius would know that, which is why it's strange that, nobody else planning the parade, neither Kato nor Herect, actually bothered coming up with costumes, so it probably falls on you.
Fuck. All right, here we go. Between the two, the 15 of the D20 will be it because I'm rolling my D20. I am organizing the parade. I am.
Yep.
I am. Yeah. I am.
So
Yeah.
14 is a success with dire
Yep.
collateral.
I'm holding the parade.
What
With a
kind
14.
of hell costume have you created, Gaius?
Well, the communist faction in Warhammer 40k are actually the Tau. So, hi everybody, we're dressing up like Tau.
I am
That means
so
more things.
offended.
What's that look like?
Do I look like I have a 5-up weapon skill to you?
Let me try and find
wait.
some Tau to link in the chat for you, Fafnir.
Hold on a second. I've literally got a one of the boxes.
I have some right in front of me, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
post some Tau. Post Tau for Fafnir. I kind of wish
All right.
Tau looked cooler, but they don't. It makes me sad. They need like four. They should look more alien. They need like 4 arms and shit. I'm sad about it.
Right, so
And here is a painted squadron of them that are custom painted.
all right.
Just Gaius has found some of our spare armor we've confiscated from various alien races we defeated in combat, and is handing it out. This can only go well,
Blue-
especially
wait,
if it.
Basically,
I
like,
sure hope none of these civilians are unfamiliar with the operation of a standard marker light rifle.
here's
All right,
here's
so
a
it
here's a
seems
like blue people with red eyes and like screws on the side of their head, no noses. Yeah.
It's not as important a detail. I think the important detail is you probably go with the painted one. Either way, a lot of these outfits are just sort of this void that a lot of the people, especially the ones who have drunk the nectar, just sort of get lost in for a moment before their eyes drift over to the warm colors, and suddenly they just start twitching a little bit, just in a weird way.
I'm sure it's fine.
And it just feels like everything's getting so hot. Oh well, anyway, hey, we gotta bring this parade home. But the truth about parades is it inspires people, it inspires their hearts and their minds, and it even inspires love. So I think the envoy's gonna have to arrive to see sort of, not the climax of the parade, because they've got to join into it, but Kato, you've got to inspire the envoy as they arrive. So, roll me a d20 to finish the parade, plus a d10, because, you got to inspire love. You're going to get it. Both 5s, damn!
Darn.
I, Cantus Icarius, am very competent!
Against all odds, this was a perfect success. This part of the parade that the envoy arrives to see is perfection. It manages to display, some of the Marines' own sort of stylings. There's a lot of armor, a lot of armored vehicles, a lot of military stuff, but at the same time, there's bits and pieces of the old culture as well. Most of it accidentally fell on top of this, like the parade floats and the people here as they were passing through the museum, but it's still there probably. It was on purpose, sure. And just The way the music swells as the envoy arrives and this parade passes by them is just perfection. Just the envoys open the doors and you can just see immediately they are crying. This is a beautiful sight.
We did it.
We did it.
We
And
did
just
it.
in the background, everybody who has drunk the nectar has finally snapped and they are just going at it.
We did it.
It's not a civil war. But hey, the envoy can take care of that later. Those are just outliers.
Yes. Time for us to move on to the next planet for the Righteous War.
Indeed, you've done a fantastic job here this week. Everything is perfect. You only inspired the wrath of the gods once, probably, and you can just write that off as a freak accident. Everything else has been fine.
It got better, so clearly it wasn't that
Right
much
away
wrath.
on the back of multiple bears.
Cyber bears.
But if we give that
Yeah,
bear,
cybernetic bears.
we gotta give those bears some power armor.
That's true. I think it's hordes, right? The people who are trying to compete with Warhammer, who actually have units that ride on bears. What are those called again? Oh my god!
There's like a whole faction that are like literally bear Cossacks.
Yeah, go Bear Cossacks.
Age of
What was that group game called again? I'm sorry.
The Kylix, I think they are.
Yeah, but what game is it under? That would help me.
Age of Sigmar. It's Age of Sigmar. It's the fantasy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the unfortunately
You're
in the
thinking
far
Kislev.
grimdark future of the 41st millennium, we have Space Wolf Riders, but not Space Bear Riders.
Unfortunate.
Although the Vestroyans are working on it, I'm sure. I just very grateful that Ed, the Lady Space Marine Tech Priest, has successfully converted many to the cause of the Omnisaya, and I look forward to Forge World Yggdrasil.
Yep. All right, everybody. I'm gonna stop recording. Thanks for playing. Goodbye.
Whoa.